Welcome into the 2022 MLB RBI Regional of the Central Variety Les Miller Field here on the campus of University Illinois Chicago. It's Curtis Granderson Stadium. It's Ryan Sykora. It's Cavan Malayter for game number 6, the opener on the Saturday slate of games on the 18U baseball section of this regional. Cavan, it's Twins RBI taking on White Sox Ace, two teams on the opposite spectrum of this standings bracket.
Yeah, you're definitely right, Ryan. White Sox Ace, they've been absolutely dominant throughout this entire tournament, and they put on a really impressive display in front of the entire tournament Thursday night when they defeated Cubs RBI, and yesterday 2 more solid wins. Twins RBI, though, they've struggled to just put runs on the board. 1 run across 2 games this far in the tournament. The offense has really struggled. Let's see if they're able to get something going today.
They get the bats first here as you see it on your screens. The leadoff hitter, Liam Kelly, plays first base for the Twins. Took a ball inside on the first one, then fouled off the second one. He faces Brian Brooks, number 22, on the bump in black today for Sox Ace. 1-1 comes in, and it's just outside. It's 2-1. Brooks hasn't pitched yet this tournament, but is part of a deep staff that White Sox Ace can throw out.
Yeah, they've been absolutely controlling the strike zones wherever they want. Their worst game was when they allowed just a couple of runs to both the Cubs and yesterday in their 2 doubleheader matchup they had. It's really been a strong showing for them, and they're so deep that they have guys who are top arms who won't even pitch this weekend.
3-1 comes in, and there's a opening walk for Liam Kelly. A couple of those arms you mentioned. You might see him play an inning or 2 today as they try and unload the bench. Sox Ace, that is.
21.
Try and maybe get some fresh arms for tomorrow's game, which they're hoping they win today. They get a shot at the championship for the whole thing on Sunday.
Definitely should. And they should feel good about their odds right now. They have a solid run differential. They also are 3-0 coming into this game, and they're top the standings right now. They're in first place, and if everything were to go to plan today for them, they are a win away from a spot in that championship game.
Mark Whaley. Liam Kelly is at first base. Whaley steps in, and it's 0-2 count to him. He's going to pitch today for Twins RBI, a team that, as you mentioned, have struggled to put runs across the plate and have also struggled to keep runs from coming in against them. What do they have to do to make today a new day and at least walk out of Chicago with a victory on their tail?
They have to be very disciplined at the plate. That's the one thing I think they've struggled with thus far, is that they've been a little too over-aggressive at the plate sometimes, which you can't always blame the hitters for trying. When you get a hittable pitch, you want to swing at it and you want to try to take a good rip at it, and just unfortunately that comes in certain scenarios where they've had multiple men on base. They're just unable to produce any runs.
Swing and a miss there from Whaley, the first K of the day for Brian Brooks. 1 down with 1 on as Ezra Kushna steps in. He'll play center field today for Twins RBI.
Center fielder number 27, Ezra Kushna.
Kushna at the plate. Peter Dauma in the on-deck circle. In the hole, it's Matt Kimlinger. Brooks winds, delivers, towering lefty. Throws a heater in there, and it's 0-2 off the swing and a miss. How important is it right away for Brooks to kind of get into the rhythm and get early Ks going?
It's crucial to your success as a pitcher, just trying to consistently find the strike zone early on, because if you aren't able to find the strike zone, when you have a long first inning, it really takes a toll on you because you're just trying to get back to the dial for the first time and give your team some sort of life. If you're able to rack up some early Ks, some early and quick outs, you feel a lot better about your chances. But right there, you see he hits the batter, and 2 quick base runners here for Twins RBI. Not what you want to see if you're Brooks there, Ryan.
Puts 2 on. And now if you're Brooks, you've put 2 on early. You've played in so many tournaments like this, right, Cavan? You've seen weekends go by where you're playing 4 games over 3 days and you're going to have doubleheaders. They had their doubleheader, their 2 games in 1 day yesterday. They're 3-0. All they have to do is get through this one. If you're Brooks, is it about making sure that you can kind of limit what happens to you today, or is it just you're going to pitch freely because you know you got a really good team behind you?
You're going to pitch freely because you know you have a strong defense behind you.
As both runners will go on the ball into the dirt, both into scoring position. Kelly, who was walked, moves his way on over to third, and Kushna, who was just hit by the pitch, into second. Go ahead.
You're going to try and you're going to want to pitch more freely on the mound. You know you have a strong offense. They put up 12 runs yesterday in their second matchup, 3 runs yesterday in the first matchup, and then 10 runs in the opener against the quote-unquote host team, Cubs RBI. So they can score, and they can score in bunches, and I think that's what makes them so dangerous. 25 total runs in this tournament. So you want to just be more relaxed when you're on the mound because you know you have an offense who will back you up. And right now it seems that he's just very tense because he understands that, hey, if I pitch well here, I could pitch my team into a championship game tomorrow.
1-1 is tipped off and down into the plate. Chance for a second K coming from Brooks. Dalma playing shortstop today in the right-handed batter's box. One-two, fouled off. We'll do it again.
And right here we're seeing Brooks after that wild pitch. He's really found his way to get back in the strike zone here. It's crucial after a pitch in the dirt that allows multiple runs on something that the catcher really can't control. You feel bad for Nevels because he's trying back there. He's had to dive a couple of times for a couple of pitches.
That one fouled off once again. Brooks winds and sets and then delivers. Outside, evens up the count. Every other pitch almost seems to be just a little bit of a mishap, though, from Brooks early on at least. He can't find a rhythm.
And that seems to be when he tries to incorporate his breaking stuff. They seem to be going for a pattern here as this ball.
Hit hard towards short, gathered 1 run will score as the second out of the inning comes in. So Dalma gathers an RBI on the fielder's choice. In to score is Liam Kelly. 1-0 Twins. Fast start that they needed.
Yeah, I mean, they've really struggled to score runs, like I said. Yesterday, they got their first run of the tournament in the first inning of their second game. And it was an unearned run because Reds RBI made multiple errors in that inning, which allowed the runners to score. This time, they manufactured the run themselves. A walk and a hit by pitch, and then a solid poke there by Dalma that allowed the runner to come in because he had a deep ground ball. Great start there for White Sox Ace.
0-1 tipped off. It'll be 0-2. Still top of the first. 2 outs now. 1 away from getting out of the inning as we are finally live over at DePaul for the softball side of the 18U bracket. That's Cincinnati taking on Cleveland in that one. You can go to that one. You can go to this one. Doesn't matter. We're going to be here all day on both sides as the swing and the miss goes from Clemminger. Second K of the inning, and Twins score 1. They have a 1-0 lead after the top of the first. White Sox Ace will try and recoup some of their damage in the bottom half of the first. Back here, bottom half of the first at Curtis Granderson Stadium in Is it downtown Chicago?
Leading off for the Ace, shortstop, number 82.
Just outside of downtown.
Just outside
Kyrie Alexander.
of downtown Chicago. White Sox Ace step up to the plate for the first time. It's Alexander, then Sean Moore, and then Addison Worthman, the 3 due up. But here is Kyrie Alexander, the shortstop. Steps in, and first pitch from Mark Whaley, who takes the rubber today for Twins RBI. First time we've seen him this tournament. And he's got a chance to do something that, well, the Twins couldn't do yesterday. They got a run in the opening inning against Cincinnati and couldn't capitalize. They ended up losing that game.
Yeah, and it's because the offense went cold entirely. They only got 2 hits the entire game, and both of those hits came after the run already came across. So it wasn't necessarily the day I think that Steve Winfield, Mike Strait, and Kobe Allen really wanted from their squad, but they're still just happy to be here, and they're looking forward to the challenge today, playing so far the best team in this tournament on the 18U baseball side of things.
Not the start they wanted in the bottom half of the first. A 4-pitch walk earned by Kyrie Alexander, so both innings start off with a opening walk.
Left
Up steps
fielder,
Sean
number
Moore, a guy that
78,
Cavan, I think,
Sean
knows a thing or
Moore.
two about.
Yeah, here's Sean Moore now. Solid contact hitter. He's really fast. The question, though, will just be whether he's able to do that. He does that a lot, and he lays down the bunt, as you can see right there. And he's quick, and sometimes he'll play the bunt down and try to get a hit off of it. He's done that on several occasions this summer with his summer league team, the Southland Vikings of the Northern League. And he's also a very solid defensive player as well. You're going to see the defense shine from him today if he gets the opportunity.
That bunt went foul. It's 0-1. Is he in the lineup to do that, though, to show bunt in this kind of situation with Kyrie Alexander on first? As Alexander goes into the glove of the catcher, Alexander slides head first safely into scoring position. Great steal from Kyrie Alexander. He's grabbed a couple this weekend. And now Sean Moore has a 1-1 count with a runner in potentially anything into the outfield with his speed can score. Runner almost went again as that pitch got away from Whaley. 2-1.
And he's going to do a whole bunch of different things for you as a team on the offensive side of things. He can lay down that bunt, and like I said, he'll lay it down for a hit, but he's not just in the lineup for the bunt.
Lays down the bunt this time. It's well placed down the left field line, and Moore is going to leg it out and advance the runner. Runner's on the corners. Perfect placement from Sean Moore.
Perfect placement because he drew Wynn in from third base on that play, and no one was really there to cover, so you secured that Alexander was going to get to third base, and because of the fact that Moore is so quick and will always hustle out of the box, and granted the lefty helps with that being left-handed, but great start there for White Sox Ace now with runners in the corners, and wouldn't be surprised here if Moore takes off on the first pitch.
Sean Moore does go. No throw will come, and this is what White Sox Ace does. Aggression out of the gates, get runners on the base path, get them to steal, get them both into scoring position, and Addison Worthman at the plate has popped his power all weekend.
Exactly. I mean, we don't need to talk about the power from him because he's shown it to you already. That home run he had in Game 1 of the tournament, also had a triple in that inning at bat prior. He also had a double in that game as well. He was full of life on the offensive side of things and really said, hey, White Sox Ace is not here to play around. We are here to come out, swing the bats, and beat you into the ground. That's what they did against the host team, the Cubs RBI squad. That's what they did last night against Indy RBI as well, winning 12-0.
2-1 to Worthman. Didn't take that one. It was inside, caught the bottom corner, evens up the count. Aiden Wright on deck also has a little bit of power to his game. 2 on, no outs. Worthman swings and contact made, but pushed off his leg and foul. We'll do the 2-2 over again.
Yeah, and for Whaley here, he's doing something that really the other Twins pitchers were struggling to do, which is consistently find the strike zone in the earlier innings. It allowed yesterday, even though Reds RBI was held scoreless for the first couple innings, they had multiple chances to score and just...
As Worthman pushes one out to deep right field, that should score Kyrie Alexander. Sean Moore is going to make his way on over to third, and after the drop ball in right, Kyrie Alexander scores to tie this game up at 1. It was Dylan Davidizer who couldn't quite hold on to it for Minnesota.
And that's the type of plays right there that have really shown out and hurt Twins RBI here for their first 2 games. A fly ball that probably should be caught, in my opinion, on a play there by right field by Dylan David Heiser, as you mentioned, Ryan.
Designated hitter,
Once again, the
number
prolonged
35,
innings have
Aiden
hurt
Wright.
Minnesota Twins RBI already. That happened yesterday in both occasions, and so far here we're seeing it happen again today in the early going.
Pickoff attempt to Worthman over at first, not in time. 1-1. E9 there if you're scoring at home. Addison Worthman gets on the base path. Dylan David Heiser again could not quite corral it out in right field. Whaley works from the rubber. Runner goes. It's Worthman charging on over to second. The throw is a good one. He's safe, though, sliding in. They got both to steal it. As Kyrie Alexander scored earlier, now Sean Moore scores, and Addison Worthman slides into second. All sorts of aggressive and really capable aggression from Sox Ace.
Yeah, it's the classic Little League place. Have that runner leave and leave early. Try to force a throw down to second base. The catcher, Bradford, then did just that and played into the cards there of the White Sox Ace coaching staff. And not Sean Moore, who's so quick to just kind of trot home. You didn't really have to sprint for that one, Ryan.
If you're Bradford, you don't throw that ball, though.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't throw that ball.
Worthman is, he's an easier pickoff than the previous two guys you saw. And obviously Alexander and Moore both got their way on over to second via the stolen base. And you want to get that guy out because, well, Worthman is an easier target. He's not as slow. He's a little bit bulkier. He's not going to get to second in time. But you got to keep that ball in your hand and make sure the run doesn't score, as it's 3-0 now. Aiden Wright looks well on his way to getting on base. The free pitch comes in, and it is a strike.
Well, and also the other thing is, what you're supposed to do as a catcher there is you either have two options there. Just pocket the throw, which he did that earlier when Moore stole second base, or you fake the throw and try the back pick at third of Sean Moore, who was at third base at the time. That's what you're taught as a catcher in that scenario.
Worthman goes, slides into third, and ball was dropped by the third baseman for Minnesota. Addison Worthman has 2 stolen bags. Sox Ace as a team have 4 already.
Yeah, and this is something we saw on Thursday night. They had just under 10 stolen bags as a team in that 7-inning contest against Cubs RBI, and they're fast, they're quick, and they're going to take every free base they can to try to end this game as quick as possible.
The 3-2 hit hard towards second. Toss over to first is in time for the first out of the inning. In to score for the third run of the game for Sox Ace is Addison Worthman. Aiden Wright with an RBI. All 3 of the 3 men due up to start this inning have scored for Sox Ace.
That's the start
The
you
catcher,
want
number
if you're White
19,
Sox Ace. They
Bryce Neville.
manufactured some base runners, base on balls, bunt for a single. The E9, granted, wasn't their manufacturing, but 2 stolen bags allowed that ground ball to be an effective ground ball and collect that RBI for Aiden Wright, who's had a solid tournament thus far and where he's really shining here as well.
In steps the catcher Bryce Nevels. Swings and misses on the second offering from Whaley. It's 1-1 with 1 out.
And the strategy here for a team like White Sox Ace is to put up as many and quickly as possible. And you might say, well, why do they keep trying to pour runs on? And it's a simple answer, and it all comes down to pitching. Talking to the Cleveland Guardians RBI coaching staff yesterday before their game, they played this Twins team in Game 1, and the Guardians won at 16-0. And their coaching staff was like, look, we have to find a fine balance between sending the guys so we can protect our pitchers, because every pitcher here is pitch counted. There's a pitch count, and you need to have certain days rest. So to protect and save our pitchers' arms, but also you don't want to embarrass the opposing team, because you just feel bad when you're putting up 16, 17, 18 runs on a team, because you know it's not fun for yourself and you know it's not fun for them.
Back-to-back putouts at second base.
Third
Matt
baseman,
Kimlinger.
number 3,
That P4 from
Shamar
Bucks step in,
Harris.
third baseman Shamar Harris. And just really quickly, touching on that point that you just made about the pitch counts and stuff like that. What you're trying to say right is that one is hit hard towards the shortstop, picked up and tossed across. It's an awry pass over. That'll be an E6 after the bad throw, and safely in is Shamar Harris at first base. So another error in this first frame for Twins RBI. Back to Sox Ace, though, and that pitch count and stuff like that. You want to protect arms by getting runs
First
early.
baseman, number 99,
Start to interchange and take
Justin
guys
Hart.
out and throw more arms.
No, so
Or throw the
because
same guy.
It's essentially so you can protect having to use more guys, because the more runs you score early, the better your chances are to end that game earlier. So you don't have to use as many arms. Heck, even keep your starting pitcher's pitch count as low as possible. So that's why it's important to score runs early, because it actually not just helps the pitching staff because they have run support, but it actually can help your entire roster as a whole.
That one's roped into left. It's going to find the gap into the glove of the left fielder. It's out of the glove of the left fielder now. Into third, and winding around is Shamar Harris. That's going to be an RBI double for Justin Hart, who's had a fantastic weekend. He hits in the 7th spot today. It is 4-1 Twins ace.
And he's someone that the White Sox coaching staff identified as a guy who has played so well thus far and has really provided a spark plug to this offense. And granted, that just shows you how deep this White Sox lineup is, that you have a guy who's been as productive as Hart has been this weekend, batting in the 7th spot, Ryan.
The other guy they highlighted is batting the 8th spot. Here's Jonah Weathers, who's playing second today. Those two, the two youngest players on this Sox Ace program, have had phenomenal weekends, and Weathers lines one into deep center field. It's going to be claimed out there in the turf by Ezra Kushna to end the inning. Not before Sox Ace score 4 runs off 2 hits and lead 4-1 as we end the first inning. Twins Ace, again, trailing 4-1. Top of the second inning, White Sox Ace 4, Twins RBI 1. Twins in the blue with the white pants, Sox Ace gray pants, black tops. As Tyson Wynn steps in, the 6th hitter in this Twins RBI lineup. It's 6, 7, 8. Wynn, Bradford, and Noah Jeffrey rounds it out. As the swing and the miss there makes it 1-1. Just inside the strike zone. It's 1-2. Again, you're listening to the Windy City Sports Network main channel today. Yesterday for baseball, we were over on the 2nd channel. Today, we flip-flop. So softball is over on channel number 2. You can go check them out at Windy City Sports Network 2. That's somewhere in our YouTube description bio, I think, somewhere in there. I don't know. Cavan's the tech guru.
Pitcher,
for sure.
number 32, Thomas Bradford.
No, you got it right. It's in our description on the homepage, as well as there's a channels button as well that it should be on.
Thomas Bradford, the catcher, steps in after that swing and a miss and strikeout from Tyson Wynn. Already 3 Ks through the first 6 batters for Brian Brooks. That one's upstairs, ball 1.
And Brooks is finally settled in. The first couple of batters he faced, the walk, even the strikeout to Whaley he had back in the top of the first looked really uncomfortable from him. And then obviously the Kushna hit by pitch. He's starting to settle in here over his last couple of batters, and you see him peppering the strike zone right now with a lot of fastballs. And that's going to be the bread and butter for him today. It's going to be that fastball, because clearly his breaking stuff has not worked. You saw that in the first inning.
1-2. Got him to look at it. 3 straight Ks for Brian Brooks. 2 up, 2 down. Noah Jeffrey, the left fielder, will step in.
Left fielder.
Fastball once again. Ryan mentioned
Jeffrey.
4th strikeout of the day, 3rd in a row, and he went 3 straight heaters right there that Bradford just kind of took and watched go by. And that's what you want here for your Brooks. You want a quick frame after your offense put up a 4 spot in the 1st inning, and when you have the top of your order eventually due up in the next half inning, you really want to get back to that dugout as quick as possible because you feel better about your chances.
1-0, contact, back towards Brooks, left field line. Brain picks it up, tosses it over, and he can't quite get him there as he legged him out. I'm sorry, I've got a post in my way. He was
out.
There you go. How about that? Noah Jeffrey grounds out to the pitcher to end the inning. Coming up next, bottom of the 2nd, 9-1-2 due up for Sox Ace. They're up 4-1. White Sox ace, Twins RBI, bottom of the 2nd inning. Frederick Ragsdale, the 9th hitter for Sox Ace, shows bunt on the first one, pulled it away. That's ball 1. It's Ragsdale, then back to the top with Kyrie Alexander and Sean Moore.
I don't blame you. Considering the home team's wearing the gray pants, it's confusing me as well.
Ragsdale chops one to 2nd, tried to get there in time, and he did. The throw was off the bag. Frederick Ragsdale leads it off with a single in the 2nd.
Way to hustle there by Ragsdale. Got down the line quickly. Tough play for Kimlinger because he had to run to his left and kind of stumbled, which I think really impacted his ability to make a play on that ball. And now here comes the top of the order once again for White Sox Ace. This is an opportunity for them to really try and put this game away as much as possible.
How about 9-1-2 for Sox Ace? Ragsdale, then Alexander, then Sean Moore. That's a whole lot of speed. And then after that, you got a Heston Worthman who stole 2 bags in the 1st inning.
And he's got the pop as well.
And that's the offense. It's potent, it's aggressive. They're going to take you on and really take you out most of the times.
You're exactly right. And
pickoff attempt is unsuccessful over to Alexander, over to Ragsdale at first.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you have such a balanced offense, it's...
Runner goes into the glove of the catcher, won't leave his hand. Another stolen bag for Sox Ace. Ragsdale makes his way over to 2nd. No outs in the 2nd.
When you have such a balanced offense, it's honestly more tough to get outs than if you just have a lineup full of power hitters, because the power hitters have the tendency to swing and miss. This team, because they're all full of guys who can hit for power but also hit for contact and put the ball in play, they are all such difficult outs, and not to mention, you already talked about the speed we've seen on display, even from the guys who aren't traditional base stealers. They've already stolen a couple of bags as a team.
The 2-0 to Alexander is upstairs. Free pitch coming. Ragsdale's going to try and go for third. Slides in. They didn't get the tag on him. He's in there safely. 6th stolen bag through technically just an inning because there's no outs here in the second for Sox Ace.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen this on display before like this. And you have to credit White Sox Ace for just getting guys in play. And we're already seeing Ragsdale get very aggressive at third base. He's taking a very aggressive lead. And granted, Wynn is playing further back than he's supposed to, and now he's finally deciding, hey, I should probably cover the bag at third.
3-1, downstairs, ball 4. Kyrie Alexander walks for the second time. Up will step Sean Moore with runners on the corners, no outs.
And this is where
Up next,
Mark Whaley really has to
Sean Moore.
come back with his absolute best stuff here. Ball in play, scores a run. You already trail by 3 here in the bottom of the second. You give up another hit here. All of a sudden, Worfman on deck, right to follow. It's a dangerous part of the line to be in right now.
Runner goes. Tried to go to third instead and see if they could get Ragsdale. Didn't matter. That's a 7th stolen base of the game and a 2nd stolen base for Kyrie Alexander.
And that's what Bradford should have done the first time when they had runners in the corners with Sean Moore on third and Worfman on first.
A little wiser to it at least this time.
Except thankfully he didn't almost threw it away. That ball was high, and a great play there by Tyson Wynn over at third base. Got up there and prevented that ball from going to left field because that was going to be a run had that ball not been caught.
The 2-0. Shot back towards us. We've been trying to get one for 2 days now. That was probably the one, Cavan.
That was so close. We had one hit the top of us yesterday, and that would have made Austin Kroom very jealous if we caught that one because he's been wanting one, I think, more than I.
He's at softball today. We don't need to talk about Austin Kroom.
Okay, then we won't bring up Austin Kroom again.
He who shall not be named. I think I said that wrong. That's a Harry Potter reference. Did you read Harry Potter?
No, watch the films, though.
That fits. Not much of a reader. 3-1 outside. Another walk. Bases are full of Sox Ace players. Addison Worthman steps up.
And this is dangerous here now.
Addison Workman.
Because Worfman now steps up. He already has a home run to his name Thursday night. He's shown off his ability to put the ball in the air because he reached on an error his last time up. So you know he's going to be looking for somebody to drive. He gets a fastball up. Look out. That ball might not be coming back, Ryan.
At least no one's going to steal this time. You'd think.
You never know.
You'd think.
One would assume. One would naturally assume. Then again, we've already seen a lot of unconventional wisdom here from both sides in terms of the philosophy on defense from Minnesota and the base running aggressiveness from Chicago.
Worthman wanted to swing at that first offering, didn't wisely, so cuts at that one. Hard hit down the left field line, and it falls foul. If roped was an understatement, that was it. Loud 1-1 now. Here's the pitch. Didn't swing at that one. That's in the zone, 1-2.
And for Whaley, what a pro response there after giving up a rocket of a foul ball. He comes back with a solid changeup, expecting another fastball here.
Cuts that one. That'll be foul down the third base line. 1-2 once again. Aiden Wright on deck. Bryce Neville's in the hole for Sox Ace. No outs. Bases loaded. Bottom of the second inning.
And Worfman right now is just way in front on everything.
He was way behind on that one, but that was kind of a defensive swing, trying to stay alive in the 1-2.
Yeah, that was a breaking ball that broke really late, but Worfman was worried. We haven't seen the breaking balls up in the zone, so we don't know what the strike zone's going to be as a hitter in those first couple of innings. Typically, you want to see a high breaking ball first so you know, hey, is this going to be called a strike or not? He didn't know, and on 1 and 2, you have to protect.
1-2, Worthman fouls that one off.
And he's just doing everything to stay alive, and that's why he's just such a tough out right now.
Seventh pitch of the at-bat on the way. Whaley delivers and plunks Worthman.
That's what we call a quality AB right there. He gets the RBI. Maybe a Bruce. Thankfully, though, they got ice is what that White Sox Ace dugout was chancing him. That's a tough at-bat for Whaley. You get up 1-2. You throw a couple of really quality two-strike pitches that Worthman just fouled off. And you try to throw an inside fastball, and it just runs a little too far inside. That's just so frustrating as a pitcher, and it's even more frustrating because it gives up a run.
Ragsdale in to score, makes it a 5-1 game. Bases still loaded, still no outs. Aiden Wright, who grounded to second just an inning ago, steps in. It's Kyrie Alexander at third, Sean Moore at second, Worthman at first. 0-1. Down into the turf, and good claim behind home plate to keep all the runners there. It's going to be 1-1.
Yeah, and that's something that I think is going to have to be more key here for Whaley's success. He's going to have to throw a few more pitches in the dirt, and Bradford's going to have to be ready for them because you go with those low changeups, which Whaley does have that changeup pitch. It's going to wind up probably in the turf, in which Bradford's going to be ready to block a ball, or else it's going to bring in a run.
That was inside. It's 2-1. Whaley outside again, 3-1. This is the 13th batter that Mark Whaley's faced. Still no Ks to his name. He's thrown a couple of really good pitches, but not enough strikes at the end of the day, as that one's chopped down the third base line and foul. Full count now.
You're exactly right, and that's something that I think is really understated about Whaley's performance. You look at the scoreboard right now, 5-1 in the bottom of the second. You're like, well, he's going to block cookies. No, he's made a lot of great pitches. Just the White Sox Ace hitters have been making incredible contact off those great pitches.
3-2. Contact there into the right field gap. One will score, waving around the second one. That's Sean Moore. Worthman on his way to third and into second safely with a 2 RBI double is Aiden Wright. Blows this game even more open. It's 7-1 Sox Ace.
Once again, there's that great pitch there from Whaley. He threw a changeup down and away on 3-2, and Wright was just kind of flailing the head of the bat at the ball and just got enough of it to lift it out in a short right center field. No one there because Dylan David Heiser's playing so far deep in right field because he's respecting the power, and with no one out on the bases loaded, you have to naturally play in as an infielder, and so that's just a tough break there for Whaley, but a great piece of hitting though by Wright. He's got 3 RBIs now on the day, and that's his first hit.
Steve Winfield in to chat with the infield and Mark Whaley. Worthman moves on over to third, so still 2 more runners with nobody out, both in scoring position for Bryce Nevels, the catcher, who's going to come in. Shamar Harris on deck. 7-1. Again, we've still technically only played a full inning because of the fact that there's no outs here in the second.
Batting next, the catcher, Bryce Neville.
Neville popped up to second his last time up. Whaley's pitch is going to find the inside corner for strike 1.
Yeah, and Neville's, your job is just to keep the line moving at this point. Already got 7 as a team thus far and 3 in this frame.
Neville popped that one into the dugout. Steve Winfield barehanded it left hand. Calm, confident, cool, collected.
Reminds me of,
Dave?
yeah, just a little. Just a little.
Dave Winfield. Steve Winfield's kid brother. Popped up high into the sky. It'll be into the infield. Waving off everybody is the pitcher, Whaley. He gets underneath it. Finally, the first out of the inning comes. It's an infield fly for the second time for Bryce Nevels.
And that's just got to be so frustrating for Nevels. That was a very hittable pitch. Breaking ball there, and he just got underneath it very slightly. But that's the beauty of the game of baseball, that physics are so important, and just because he got under it slightly, it's going to be costing him a trip to first base.
Shamar Harris now puts one right back up the middle. Worthman will score, make it 8-1. Coming in, sliding in safely. He won't even slide in. The throw was too short. That's Aiden Wright. 8-1, now 9-1. Sox Ace cruising. through 1 1/3.
Yeah, really, and once again, that's probably the first mistake I think we've seen Mark Whaley make today. Left a fastball middle in with some slight cut to it from our perspective here.
Justin Hart.
And Harris took complete advantage of it. Our 2 RBI single, advanced to second on that throw, and Sox cruising here.
Hart swings at the first one he sees. It's gathered by Wynn. He bobbled it just a little bit. The throw was off the bag, and Hart's in safely at first, and over to third is Shamar Harris. Is that an E5?
Yes, it is. The bobble and the offline throw.
2 errors?
1 individual error.
1 individual error. Scoring genius, Cavan.
Been doing it for a while.
Shout
out my dad for teaching me
Joe
that.
Weather.
My dad taught me. I just stopped.
I respect
So,
that.
It's more kudos. Shout out to you for continuing to do that. Runners on the corners for Jonah Weathers, who lined out to center to end the first inning. 1 out in the second. Weathers didn't swing at that one. The breaking ball was outside, ball 1.
And he becomes the 9th batter to bat this inning, and really the White Sox Aces don't show any sign of stopping right now.
Weathers, hard hit towards Wynn, who corrals that one. Long throw across the diamond is in time for the second out, but an RBI comes anyway for Jonah Weathers in to score Shamar Harris. 10-1 ball game.
Up next, center fielder Frederick Ransdale.
Justin Hart moves to second, and Frederick Ragsdale, who led off this inning with a single, 2 stolen bases, and a score, comes up in the left-handed batter's box. Hits the first one he sees right there towards second. Great grab to end the inning by the Twins' second baseman, Matt Kimlinger. But not before 6 runs cross the plate. White Sox Ace up 10-1 as we enter the third frame on WCSN.
Leading off the Twins' third
Picturesque
inning,
view of the
right fielder
Chicago
number
skyline
39,
from Curtis
Dylan
Granderson
David
Stadium, West
Hazard.
Miller Field on the campus of University of Illinois, Chicago. It's the top of the third, 9-1-2 due-up for Twins RBI. They're down 10-1 as Dylan David Heiser is into the right-handed batter's box. For Twins RBI, he faces Brian Brooks, who has settled in pretty nicely, 5 straight retired.
He has, and it's been the ability to command the strike zone with a fastball. And just, he keeps firing fastballs. He understood that in that first inning, his breaking ball wasn't at his best, and he decided, I'm going to eliminate this. I'll go fastball changeup here, and it's been effective. You're talking about 5 straight batters retired, including 3 strikeouts over that stretch as well.
He's ahead in the count 1-2 to Heiser. He's the right fielder today. That one's up and away. 2-2. Defensively for Sox Ace, we haven't had a chance to talk about much of them because Brooks has been so well. Behind home plate is Nevels, as the 2-2 comes in. As outside, we'll have a full count. Left to right in the infield, Shamar Harris plays third base. Shortstop is Kyrie Alexander, who we've talked about a lot on the base path, stealing bags today. Second baseman, Jonah Weathers. First baseman is Justin Hart. Moving left to right again into the outfield as the swing and the miss goes. Another retired for Brandon Brooks. In the outfield, it's, again, left to right. Sean Moore out in left. In center, it's Frederick Ragsdale. And out in right, Addison Worthman, the
And
hitter.
next, first baseman, Liam Kelly.
Sixth straight retired.
Yeah, and that time he kind of just fooled Dylan David Heiser there. Just with all fastballs and all of them away, and he just kind of flung the bat at it, hoping to make contact, but we're seeing here Brooks has settled in and has really become an effective guy, and that's something that the White Sox Ace have a bounty of, which is just so many good, talented pitchers.
When one finds the strike zone, it's 1-2. Liam Kelly walked and scored. Has the only run for Twins RBI of the game in the first. Makes contact on that one, pushed it foul. We'll do the 1-2 yet again. Mark Whaley, the pitcher, is on deck. 1-2. Down in the dirt. Evens up the count. Calm and quiet, 10:15 a.m. local time. The 2-2 is upstairs. Full count once again in this inning.
And once again, it seemed like that breaking piece of his is not working. Tried a fastball there on 2-2, but keeps missing away.
Missed that one too. Second walk for Liam Kelly today, and he reaches for the second time. Mark Whaley will come in with one out.
Yeah, that ball was out. White Sox Ace players thinking that was a strike three. At first glance, I thought it was a strike, but looking back on it, it appears to be a fastball. It just missed away. Tried to paint the block.
Caleb Carter.
As Carter steps up, and for Brooks here, it's just about dealing with the adjustments you already have right now, and that's dealing with a base runner for the second time in this contest.
Carter will pinch hit for Mark Whaley, who you'd assume his day is probably done. With Carter coming in, he swings and misses at the first two pitches. Carter, class of, what is that, 2006? So what does that make him? Class of
24, yeah. I'm not very good at math.
That's crazy, dude. I am old, and I'm only class of 21. That guy's 3 years younger than me. It makes me feel old. 1-2. Brooks, swing and a miss. Yet another K for Brandon Brooks. That is 6 now on the afternoon.
And
Next,
he carved him with
center
fastballs,
fielder,
which is
Ezra Kushner.
why he's been able to be so effective today. It's because he's gotten that fastball in for a strike and getting around the corners, and hasn't really had to use that breaking piece or change up that much, because when you're just overpower a guy for fastball, you believe in it. You're just going to keep using it every single time because you believe that's going to get you a swing and miss, and you believe it's going to get you an out eventually.
Brooks outside, 2-0 to Ezra Kushner, who was hit by a pitch and then moved on over to second via a passed ball in the first. 2 outs, third inning. Kushner, contact, left side, gathered by the third baseman, toss across, bobbled into the dirt, and it was bobbled into the glove, and Kushner legged it out.
I think they're going to rule that an E5 on the throw there by Shamar Harris at third. That throw just a little low in the dirt, in the turf, and it caused Carter to bobble that ball. But also, I thought he maybe took a little bit too long before he threw that baseball across the diamond. Kind of pumped a couple of times before he actually got that and threw in. Kushner showed off a little bit of speed there.
That one lasered in the left center, and making the play out there is Sean Moore. Tracked the ground down and tracked the ball with it. Ends the inning still 10-1. Minnesota did a little bit better of a job at the plate than they did in the prior inning. They still trail big time. It's Sox Ace up big. Bottom of the third on the way. New pitcher in. Dylan Davidheiser comes over from right field. The new right fielder is Caleb Carter for Twins RBI. Davidheiser's first pitch, an awkward windup. Got through the glove and the legs of the catcher. It's ball one.
And he pitched an inning in relief last night. He gave up a triple, a double, as well as a couple of ground balls. He got some help from his defense there, but he's got that funky windup, and it really threw off some of the Reds' RBI hitters. Let's see here if he can try to just somehow stifle this White Sox ace.
Day done for Mark Whaley, not the prettiest. 10 runs off 4 hits. Didn't get much help from his defense. 3 errors while he was in the game. Just couldn't fully navigate. He threw a lot of good pitches, but every time he threw a good pitch, Sox Ace just kind of put it right back to him.
No, and for Whaley, it was always the desire to try to get outs, and it was always a desideratum on that time because he just struggled to find the strike zone consistently, and when he did, he gave up a lot of hard contact. And granted, 3 errors made by the Twins really did not help his case out whatsoever, but still, you gotta try to work around that yourself, but you always feel bad for a pitcher in that scenario because you know the defense didn't really help him out.
Sean Moore steps up. He's the 2-hitter. That was Kyrie Alexander that just walked. That's 3 innings, 3 walks for Alexander. Moore on the day, a bunt and a stolen base, and then a walk. He's scored both times. Another stolen base for Kyrie Alexander. That's his 3rd in 3 innings. That's 9 as a team.
That's pretty good.
Inside pitch and make it 10 as a team. They had double digits on Thursday here at Les Miller Field, and they've already reached that through 3 innings today.
And I don't see signs of stopping. We talked about that for the Guardians RBI team yesterday. We're like, well, maybe they could reach double digits or even a double figure of Baker's dozen. Austin Crew and I were talking about that, and instead they reached the double figures in the run column, but on the stolen base column, Sox have done both so far here in just 2 innings now at this point.
3-0. Moore takes strike one. Addison Worthman on deck. Left fielder Sean Moore had a great play out there to end the top half of this inning just a moment ago. Defensive plus glove. Oftentimes, certainly a contact hitter has all the speed. That's what he brings, and also that eye there as well. Yet another walk for him, back-to-back for Sean Moore. 2 walks since coming in for David Heiser. They're just doing such a good job of being patient.
Up next,
not
right
just Sean Moore, but as a
fielder,
team.
Addison Worthman.
Exactly, but when you have guys at the top who are doing that, you feel confident for the guys at the bottom of the half who are like, okay, we understand what we need to do now as an approach as a team, and they're showing that off thus far. And right there, just another walk. More with 2 walks, 3 walks for Kyrie Alexander. It's been a good start for the top 2 guys in the lineup. I mean, they're combined 1-for-1 with 6 trips on the base pass, though.
Moore goes. Worthman swings. It's popped foul over the heads of everybody into the, I guess there's beach volleyball fields behind us here at UIC. Could have gotten that far. Sean Moore was running, though. They were trying the hit and run.
Yeah, that's the hit and run right there, because with the right-handed batter up, the second baseman has to go over and cover the bag, leaving pretty much a gaping hole on the right side of the infield.
0-1. Runner goes again. They tried the hit and run once more. It was a swing and a miss. Didn't get the hit. They got the run, though. Sean Moore steals a base.
And for Worthman, that's the right play. Even though that pitch was the ball the entire way through, you got to swing and miss there because you just got to try to put something in play for your teammates to make sure they can advance to second base.
Contact. Worthman, right field line, just looped too far. Probably a couple of paces from being fair.
Yeah, and you had right on the on-deck circle, hopping down the line, pointing and trying to make sure that ball landed fair. And that's a great piece of hitting there. 2 strikes by Worthman. Just fighting off the same line. If he's done on the line, we saw that 7-pitch at bat land him in a hit by pitch. Let's see what he's able to do here.
0-2. Defensive swing. We'll do the 0-2 once again. David Heiser winds, delivers. Worthman right back up the middle, gets through the infield. 1 will score. Make it 11-1. Coming in is Moore to make it 12. Sox Ace up 11. No outs on the board in the 3rd inning. An RBI single scores 2 for Addison Worthman.
Great 2-strike hitting there by Addison Worthman. Drives that fastball down and away, right back up the middle. We've seen him with 2 quality at-bats today. 3 if you even count the error, because he put that ball in play and did a job for his team, which was when there were 2 runners on. And now just like that, they can try and pull away and try to get this game done as quick as possible.
David Heiser will check Worthman at first. Wind. Set. Deliver. Worthman goes. Pass ball, so Addison Worthman safely in there at second. Twelve runs on 4 hits. They're doing just about as good of a job as you can do at being patient, getting on, and preaching the practice of we're going to get on base and then we're going to get you back into the dugout.
Exactly.
Swing and a miss there, 1-1.
I mean, I'm running out of words to describe this White Sox Ace lineup, because that's just how effective they are with the sticks. It's get on base, steal a couple bags, drive in a run. Get on base, steal a couple bags, get a hit.
Worthman's going, looking for 3, and he's there. Another stolen bag for Sox Ace. When you're running out of words, it's pretty easy just to go with the orthodox word of, they're really effective, which you used obviously a couple times. And you don't want to keep hitting those words, but eventually you just got to keep saying the normal thing to say. 1-2. Aiden Wright swings on it, pushes it out towards center. Worthman will check up at third and charge on over to home. Stand in and score 13-1.
Enright has done his job today thus far. RBI ground on the first, 2 RBI double in the second. Now here in the third inning, sacrifice fly. Doesn't go against him
Now batting
in the book, but he gets credit for that RBI. His 4th RBI of this ball game, and once again, cruising right now. This is White Sox Ace team, and they seem to be destined for a date tomorrow.
He steps Bryce Nevels, who's the only guy, other than he and Jonah Weathers, are the only 2 guys in the entire lineup so far for Sox Ace who don't have a hit. The top 3 have all reached and all scored in all 9 of their total plate appearances. It's been a clinic from Sox Ace. 4 runs in the first, 6 in the second, already 3 through a third of this third inning.
And the one out they've had in this inning was a productive out of that because it was a sacrifice fly.
It's essentially the exact game of baseball that you would want to come out early morning, 9 o'clock, 9:30 first pitch, and just go out there, do your job, get in, get out, go back to the hotel, understand that you've got a game tomorrow that you're here to play for as the wild pitch comes in and past the catcher.
And also what's going to be key today is for several teams. There are several 2-0 teams on this 18U baseball side of things. Sox Ace, one of the few teams that's played 3 games as far as them, and Cubs are the only team that have gotten more than everyone else.
High towering ball into the blue sky. Underneath it and making the second out of the inning is Peter Dauma. And that's 3 plate appearances, 3 pop-ups into the infield for Bryce Nevels.
There's always seems to be someone. Every team in a game like this, there's always someone who just can't seem to buy a hit to save their life, and
Next, third baseman.
that's always frustrating as a hitter.
Sykora
But
Harris.
from a team perspective, though, there's always gonna be one guy, and every coach I play for, especially at the high school level, and these coaches seem to preach this as well, is that hey, we'd rather win a ball game as a team big than have you go 4 for 4 and lose the game. And that seems to be the philosophy thus far. Is you know that everyone's gonna go 4 for 4. Not everyone's going to get a hit in certain games, but it's about the team, and especially in a tournament like this where you have so few games and so few opportunities to win games because, obviously, small sample size. You have to take advantage of those, and that's what Sox Ace have been doing. And fortunately for Nevels this morning, not getting the start he wanted to.
0-2 here to Sykora Harris, who drove in 2 on a double in the second. Twins RBI still looking for their first strikeout. Here's the 0-2 on the way. Outside. You mentioned the short sample size of games. You've only got 4 games before you get to the championship game. Is it a sprint or is it a marathon? I know that can seem weird to say short sample size and it can still be a marathon, but it's got to be a little bit of both in some ways. As Harris puts one down the left field line, it'll get out there. That'll be a single, third time that Sykora Harris has found his way onto the base path.
It's probably, in my opinion, it's probably more of the sprint because you have to look at this from
First baseman.
the pitching side of things
Hart.
because you know every pitcher in this game is pitch counted and pitch limited in this contest. As I think they might be clearing the field, I think they may have seen some lightning from what I'm overhearing from the third base dugout at least.
There are run rules in effect. I do believe it is 15 runs after 3 innings, 12 after 4, 10 after 5, and 8 after 6, or something of that variety.
That is what the Illinois rules. That's the Illinois NFHS rules, and we are currently in Chicago, Illinois. So we'll wait and see what the official ruling is.
So they would technically, under those rules, Sox Ace would need 3 more runs to claim victory at this point in the game. If they do not get those 3 more runs and they decide that this game is done at 12, that would be the result that Sox Ace are looking for. Moving to 4-0. We have been told that a lightning strike has come up and about in the last 4 or 5 miles or so, and that means we'll have to pause for what I would assume is a 30-minute break.
That's typically what it is here, so we'll wait and see. And this could be huge for the Twins. It's also be detrimental for Brooks' chances to stay in this game. A long pause when you're a starting pitcher. Granted, he's had a couple of long innings in the dugout, but Still, a 30-minute break is something you're not used to, even when your offense is rolling
Ladies
like
and
that.
gentlemen, we are currently in a weather delay. As soon as we get more information, we will keep you updated.
So where we stand, 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 3 runs have crossed the plate for Sox Ace in this frame. There's 1 on, and Justin Hart is at the plate. That's Shamar Harris at first base. We're going to take a really quick break. It's the 2022 MLB RBI Central Regional 18U Baseball on the Windy City Sports Network. Welcome back after the weather delay. Ryan Sykora, Cavan, Malayter, White Sox Ace, and Twins RBI from Les Miller Field at Curtis Granderson Stadium. 30-minute weather delay done and dusted. And back onto the hill is the relief pitcher for Twins RBI, Dylan David Heiser. And he faces, well, it's Justin Hart still on an 0-0 count. First pitch to Hart is just upstairs for ball one. There's one runner on second base. That is Shamar Harris. After he singled and stole before the weather delay. Cavan, 30-minute weather delay. I think they're now working on the count, the two umpires. It might not have been 0-0 like it said on the scoreboard. 30-minute weather delay. We've already seen a long break. This inning has already seen 6 batters come to the plate. And then a 30-minute delay, you might get a couple more batters as Hart was walked. That was the count. So he is on first base now with a base on balls. So there's 2 on. So that was the 7th batter of the inning. Jonah Weathers comes up. He's the 8th batter of this frame. Then a 30-minute delay. All that does is it forces Brian Brooks to sit down in the dugout for a prolonged period of time, and that hurts him, yeah?
No, it definitely hurts him because as a pitcher, you always get in a rhythm, and obviously you love the long innings as a pitcher because that means you just get more and more run support. But a 30-minute inning when you're on offense is so rare and never happens. Most pitchers don't have to normally experience it. Instead, now you have a 30-minute break where it's not even like you're watching the game for 30 minutes. You're just sitting in a room or sitting on a dugout for 30 minutes just twiddling your thumbs. It really can affect your psyche, and it could really affect him. We'll see if the Sox are unable to get that 15-run mark here in this inning. Let's see how that affects him in the top of the 4th, Ryan.
0-2 inside. Good breaking piece, but it caught a piece.
Wow.
Jonah Weathers, who's listed as number 6. He's going to wear number 9 today. So after 2 really good pitches to get ahead in the count 0-2 and what looked like a late breaking ball that might have just snuck in there, it in fact caught a piece of Jonah Weathers and loads the bases for Frederick Ragsdale.
Center fielder.
Where I was going with that real quick before you get onto the game itself. Does it really matter that Brian is feeling a little bit of maybe relaxation, doesn't have anything to go with as that one's fouled straight back? Does it matter? 13-1, bases loaded here, Sox are well out in front?
I think it does still because with the way this tournament is set up, because pitch count is so vital and you're trying to save as many arms as possible for a potential championship game, which the Sox look like they're on pace to do so.
Swing and a miss there. It's 0-2.
Every run you allow matters, and if Brooks doesn't have it because of the delay, he could give a few runs, and then this game would be prolonged even longer than I think the White Sox feel it should be. So I think it does, yeah.
0-2. Trying to get out of the inning. That one's fouled off. We'll do it again. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Frederick Ragsdale, 1 for 2 on the day. Stole 2 bags and scored in the second. Lined out to the second baseman. That was that low laser on the ground that just stayed above the turf. 0-2. David Heiser outside.
Yeah, and opportunity here for White Sox Ace. They need to get to that 16-run mark to be at 13 after 5, or 15 after 3, excuse me.
Contact. First base line, it's foul.
And one extra base hit here and a ball hit down the line would do it, because it'd be 16-1 here in the 3rd inning. And according to the handy little rule sheet we got here, it's 10-run mercy after 5, 12 after 4, 15 after 3, and it's a mandatory stoppage. So Sox are in a great position because if they get the extra base hit and all 3 runs score, they win the game. If they don't get these runs across to make it 16-1, they're still 3 outs away. Exactly.
Correct.
So they're in a great position here.
Cavan Malayter referencing a rule sheet that we just picked up over the break as Ragsdale pops one high into the sky. All sorts of Twins underneath it, and Wynn makes the play, ends the inning. Twins are down to their last 3 outs. They're down 13-1. They're going to need a whole lot of offense to tie this game. Just a little bit more offense to keep their weekend alive, at least for this game. It's 13-1, White Sox Ace. We're through 3 on WCSN.
Good job.
Visitors half of the 4th inning here at Les Miller Field. Ryan Sykora, Cavan, Malayter, new pitcher stepping onto the hill for the White Sox Ace program. It's Frederick Ragsdale, who replaces Brian Brooks, who through 3 was pretty flawless. Allowed no
Ladies and
hits,
gentlemen,
1 run,
defensive
couple of
changes for
errors
the
on his
A's.
team's side that didn't go his
Entering
way.
the ballgame at right
Ragsdale now
field, number
comes in,
23,
has a real
Kevin
chance to close this
Jr.
game out. He only needs to be
Number
out to do
16,
so.
Edison Wortman.
Yeah,
moves
and
from
you
right
got to
to
credit
left.
Brooks because
78, Sean Moore moves from left to center. And number 1, Frederick Ragsdale moves from center field. He's the new pitcher.
a whole bunch of defensive changes there, as you can probably hear. But yeah, no, he threw a lot of strikes, and after that first inning where he struggled to find the zone a little bit there, the first couple of batters, walked the first hitter he saw, the third hitter he saw, he hit the batter. But since then, he really focused on his fastball command, and that's where he was so effective.
Ladies and gentlemen, pinch hitting for the Twins, number 20, Jaden Archie.
Jaden Archie will pinch hit for Matt Kimlinger. Kimlinger's day is done at 0 for 1 with that strikeout all the way back in the first inning. It's a 3-0 count, the first 3 pitches from Ragsdale, all balls. Sox Ace trying to get out of this one as soon as they can, set themselves up for a likely title date tomorrow with somebody that we're going to see throughout this day. It's a long day here at UIC. Well, next up for us is Cubs Guardians. A 2-0 Guardians team takes on a 1-1 Cubs team, we believe. That will be here on YouTube 1. That's slated for a first pitch 11:45. After back-to-back strikes here from Ragsdale gives us a full count. And he could not.
That's an interesting looking strike 3 call
I
right
hate
there.
umpires. I know that's very petty of me. I hate umpires. That was like the most. You can't see me, but
Ladies
he
and
just
gentlemen, pinch
literally
hitting number 36,
looked like he leaned
Lucas
back
Sykora.
and was just like doing like a dance move at a slow dance. Good pitch there from Ragsdale.
I like that slow dance
He
there.
literally just kind of like it looked like he was just like trying to lean away. It was like you were leaning away from like a. Only way I can describe it as the 1-0 comes in for a strike is, you ever been like face to face with a bear in like the forest and they tell you not to move?
Can't say I have, to be
Okay,
honest.
neither have I. But you know how they tell you not to move?
Yeah.
Not to run away?
Yeah.
But you always are going to kind of slowly lean away and try and slowly back your way. That's what he did there. He kind of was just like, it's like he was staring at a bear and didn't want to move but had to move. It's a 1-2. Ragsdale did a little bit faster this time, and it's back-to-back Ks for Frederick Ragsdale, slowly working his way in.
Yeah, and for our Collins, never really stood a shot there that time whatsoever.
Ladies and gentlemen, pinch hitting number 37, Amir Perez.
Good fastball usage there from Ragsdale, and there's quickly 2 away.
Amir Perez will pinch hit now. They are unloading the bench, the Twins RBI team is, understanding that these are probably their last 3 outs. Amir Perez will pinch hit for Thomas Bradford. 1-0. In there, strike 1. Evens up the count.
Unless we have what happened yesterday where the umpiring crew didn't understand the mercy rules, which could be a possibility, which is a possibility here, but from according to the rule sheet, this should be it as long as Rags is able to get this final put out.
After that, after Cubs Guardians, the Guardians have a double header on their way. They play the Reds, so we're looking at potentially a maybe 3-0 Guardians team taking on a 2-0 Reds team in what could be a preview of what White Sox Ace will see in the final if this current result holds. After that, the Reds will get a doubleheader against Tigers RBI, and then after that, it's Indianapolis versus the Cincinnati Royals RBI program.
Yeah,
the Kansas City Royals.
Hey, so many
The
many
weather
different.
delay has taken me.
The weather delay, and also there's just so many different teams here. We're seeing a bunch of different teams. I mean, I have roster sheet from every 18U eligible team here, and that one is called a ball, and the White Sox Ace program thought that was strike 3. I have roster sheets here from every team in the 18U division here today because that's how many different teams Ryan and I will be seeing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 17 sheets of paper.
It feels like it at this point.
3-1 from the lefty Ragsdale. Looper is too high. Breaking ball couldn't find it, and we will get another batter. Noah Jeffrey will be pinch hit for.
Ladies and gentlemen, pinch hitting number 26,
It's Wyatt Shirley.
Wyatt Shirley.
Swing and a miss from Shirley on the first offering. A 1. just outside.
Ooh. Like the pitch there, though, that outside corner fastball. He's been going to that side, whether it's been a right-handed or a left-handed hitter, and I like the idea there.
Contact, third base line, falls foul towards Steve Winfield, who couldn't quite find it in his hand. He wasn't really reaching down too far to go get it.
He wasn't, but we've seen him make a couple of solid plays at this tournament thus far.
He had one bare-hander earlier on in this one. It's 1-2, 2 outs. Swing and a miss. That should do it. 13-1 lead for White Sox Ace. They come out of the dugout. That's the ball game. They move to 3-0. Twins RBI fall to 0-3 on the week.
Ladies and
Twins
gentlemen, that's the end of the ball game.
Was always
The
coming
total,
into this one at a little bit of a
the Twins,
disadvantage compared to these other
1
bigger,
run,
more vaunted talent
and the
players
Ace,
like White Sox
13
Ace.
runs.
Chicago Cubs RBI, a couple of the other programs. Obviously, the Reds are very good. Detroit seems to be solid. Cleveland has flashed a lot of good stuff. Minnesota always at a disadvantage. They couldn't really find their rhythm though all week.
They really couldn't, and the 0-3 mark pretty much signifies that that's going to be it. They're going to be eliminated from
The MLB RBI
championship
Central
contention, and
Regional Tournament.
this is a great experience though for a lot of these players
The
to
Cavs
learn,
versus the Guardians.
to just to learn this experience and think, hey, all right, let's try and work here. There's a lot of young guys on this team who probably will be back next year with this Twins RBI team, so try to work for next year. You learned a lot. You played a lot of great, talented teams. I mean, you talked about that Cleveland team showed out yesterday, and this White Sox Ace team looks to be the team to beat at 4-0 now at this point.
Final score, Sox Ace 13, Twins RBI 1 after 3.5. Ryan Sykora, Cavan, Malayter. We've got 4 more. It's a long day in front of us. Up next, it is Guardians and Reds. Or, sorry, Guardians and Cubs.
Guardians Reds is later, but you were
Guardians
right.
Reds is later. Again, 4 games
Yeah, 4
after
games.
this. Already 1 in. A long weather delay. That's slated for an 11:45 first pitch. Right now it's 11:25, so we might end up closer to noon first pitch. Until then, head over to WCSN2 and check out the softball game at DePaul with Tia Reed and Austin Kroom on the call for that one. But please, come back. We've got Cubs up next.